The central tenet of It's a Wonderful Life is that life is precious and you shouldn't throw it away. And I couldn't agree more, which is why I'm sparing over 2 hours of your life by condensing this unrelenting schmaltzfest into 4 minutes. Welcome to No Need to Watch, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life was made in 1946, a time when the world was still coming to terms with the Second World War, and so was probably ready for a barely disguised morality play about how important it is not to top yourself, especially at Crimble. The film isn't actually all that Christmassy, truth be told, and really it didn't enjoy much success until its copyright lapsed in 1974, and TV stations started showing it more often than the weather, because it didn't cost them anything. It was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, but only won for Best Snow. No, really, it won a technical award for inventing a new fake snow, which was quiet and meant you could record dialogue, which makes you wonder, what were they using before? Marbles?
I will go over every step you took since you left the house.
Originally shot in black and white, the film was colorized to the unhappiness of Frank Capra, the director, although I think colorizing can be a really lovely, nuanced and lifelike effect. The plot follows George Bailey, played by Jimmy Stewart, a man who says, "Hot dog!" a lot.
Hot dog!
Hot dog! Oh, hot dog.
And longs to travel from his sleepy town of Bedford Falls and see the world, but who gets tied down, has his company, Building and Loan, driven out of business, and thinks about throwing himself off a bridge. But I'm already crediting the film with too much subtlety, as from the get-go, Stewart's character is so incessantly adorable. He saves his kid brother from drowning. He looks after the bereaved drugstore owner. He's adored by his family and everyone in town.
Hey, George! Hiya, George. George.
That's for nothing.
He doesn't go to bed with the slatternly blonde and instead marries the nice, sensible, brown-haired lady who he falls into a swimming pool with. Adorbs! And it's all too beautiful and lovely. He isn't given any flaws and there's no salt on the chips. He's just nice. Except for when he refuses to give his wife-to-be her robe back when she ends up naked in a bush, which is a bit creepy, but disappointingly not as lurid as it sounds.
I'll call the police!
They're way downtown. They'd be on my side, too.
Because 1940s America hadn't yet moved on from Dickensian character development, the baddie is disabled and a bit racist, talking about garlic eaters, which is frankly an unacceptable way to talk about the Inuit. Jimmy Stewart goes through his life being a loyal father and husband and maintaining the Building and Loan company, which is adorable because it's cute capitalistic, but not baddie capitalistic like the monopolistic Henry Potter, who in those days would have been described as the evil cripple. Though, I'm pleased to say we have largely moved on from such appalling disableism, even if perhaps Hollywood is still not above aligning physical and moral deficiency as a cheat code substitute for decent writing. The fact that if Jimmy Stewart's business had done a bit better, it probably would have behaved in exactly the same way is not explored. And so, with the occasional hiccup, like the business nearly defaulting, but everyone rallying round and chipping money in to save it, too cute! His life is okay. Except then, when some hopeless old geezer Jimmy Stewart keeps on because he's got such a big old heart, literally misplaces $8,000, the business is about to default again. Only this time, for some reason, it's a big flipping problem. So all of a sudden, we get this frantic attempt to show that in one day, Jimmy Stewart has become heartily sick of absolutely everything and everyone, even though he was fine yesterday. So we can get to a point where he's on a bridge and is about to toss himself off. And here's where it gets all spooky in a Christmas Carol kind of way. Because guess what? There's angels and God and that looking down on him. Represented here by a torch and some unconvincing drawings of the Andromeda Galaxy and a dog poo. They dispatch an angel called Clarence, who looks like Mr. Magoo and jumps in the river, knowing Jimmy Stewart will save him because he is just so adorable. Squee! And Stewart tells him,
I wish I'd never been born.
The angel grants his wish, but what's this? Bedford Falls has been renamed Hamsterdam off of the wire, with everyone off their heads on pool and jazz music, and the slatternly blonde is on crystal meth. And I'm exaggerating, but you get the picture. The whole town and everyone in it is ruined without him. So he agrees to get back in his box and stop carping on about any kind of personal fulfillment, like a good little cog in the capitalist machine. Everyone gives him a $5 and he's spared jail, and the angel gets his wings for doing such a good job, and everybody watching breathes a sigh of relief and jacks up on insulin just to cut through this 130-minute Titanic hit of pure sugar.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
With its heavenly supernaturalism, the film isn't a million miles away from the British film A Matter of Life and Death, which came out in the same year, and for my money was a bit better, but it goes to show there was something in the zeitgeist about angels and a higher order and a plan for everyone. What everyone forgets is that this film is largely about finance and mortgages and debt, which means it should get remade as It's a Wonderful Life and be about payday loans. Critics weren't crazy about the film at the time, although Roger Ebert says it improves with age. I'd agree if this film was a fine wine, but really it's more like a warm glass of milk, and we all know what time does to that. Maybe, if you're in that post-Christmas dinner slump and semi-comatose, this would somehow hit the sweet spot for your dribble-numbed brain. But I feel it's one of those pieces that sets such a tone of pious adorability that it seems beyond reproach for most people. It's like saying you hate your kid's nativity play. It's just not done, and it makes you feel like a terrible person. I'm a terrible person. There's a sign on the wall of the building and loan company which says all you can take with you is that which you've given away. And in the case of It's a Wonderful Life, I think that's true. The short story it was based on was given away, and then when the film lost copyright, that's when it became part of the canon of great films. So really there is such a thing as a free lunch. It's just so saccharine you'll probably develop diabetes from eating it. Things you should say? Kapfer's earlier parables, like Mr. Smith goes to Washington and you can't take it with you, were really just building up to this, weren't they? Things you shouldn't say? Oh, it looks so much better in colour, doesn't it? And that was It's a Wonderful Life, no need to watch, and my name's Ebenezer Scrooge. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And for more like this, click on the links. And if there's a movie that you can't be bothered to watch, let me know in the comments, because it's rude to talk over the film.
Shh. You shush. No one's going to download this now.